Welcome to Daily Plunge. We are in Paul's letter to the Colossians, chapter 3, verses 12 through 17. Now, Paul here is talking about just cherished, mundane relationships between Christians. Starts off by saying God's chosen people. So God has chosen Christians to be his people, not because they're better than anyone, but because he has made them holy, beloved, and cherished through the work of the cross, right? And through the work of faith that came by them hearing the gospel. And so God is working in them. And so he says, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And you think about all of these are the characteristics. These are the traits of Jesus. And so they're being asked to clothe themselves with Christ, right? Christ is compassionate. He is kind. He is humble. He is gentle, and he is patient. And so they're asked to be Christ to one another. Now he goes on in verse 13, bear with one another, bear with each other, and forgive one another as if you have any grievance against one another. And again, what's the basis of this? Is that Christ has forgiven you. You are to bear with one another. You cannot hold on to that anger, that resentment, those grievances, right? Because it just eats away at ourselves, but it eats away at our fellowship with each other. What if God held on to the anger, resentment, and grievance that he has against you for your sin? What would happen to you, right? So can we bear with each other? Can we put up with each other because Christ has put up with us? Yes, we can, because the Holy Spirit and faith empowers us to do this. Now he goes on and says, over all these virtues, put on love. Now the word there is agape, and what that means is unconditional love, self-giving love, really almost self-surrendering love, right? And it's the love that Christ gives to us, we are to share with others. And that's what binds us all together in perfect unity. Not that we all have the same things in common, not that we see all things together, but we have Christ's love for one another, a love that is forgiving. Now going on, he says, let the peace of Christ, not the peace of this world, but the peace of Christ dominate and rule in your hearts. That as a community, let that peace be first and foremost in how you interact with each other, since as members of one body, you were called by Christ, by God, to this peace which Jesus gives, not that the world gives. And so we are to have gratitude and thankfulness, because without gratitude, without thankfulness, we're not going to have any peace with each other or with God. And so he goes on, let the message of Christ dwell in you. Well, what is that message of Christ? Is that we are saved by grace through faith, that we have received that promise. And so he goes on, so you should be worshipful, at all times, singing psalms and praising. And to be a Christian is to be worshipful. If worshiping God is not at the center of you, then the message of Christ is not abiding. It's not dwelling in your life. And finally, he says, whatever you do in your words or deeds, do it in the name and the power and the authority of Jesus Christ. Oh, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.